Okay, well, I think that it's now time to start. So let me just get to my notes. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this new session. This afternoon, we are going to talk about tourism and hospitality in post-COVID-19 times. And before diving into the subject, I suggest a little energizer under the form of a new quiz. So by now, you probably know that for this, you need to use another device, or if you are on your computer, you can open a separate internet session and connect to www.slido.com. And Tao is going to put the link in the chat box. And when you arrive on Slido page, you will see on the top of the screen a blue window where you will be requested to enter the code that appears on this PowerPoint presentation, which is 242249. Or if you prefer, you can connect with the QR code that will appear in the next slide. So we give you a few seconds to connect, and then we will do the quiz, and well, may the best one win. So one person is connected, Renaud. Yes, in order to do the quiz, you not only have to connect, but you also have to put your name. So that's how the system is going to see who is the big winner of our quiz. So we have Renaud, we have Ms. Bin, Brian, Mr. Soti. Martin, Eddie, Hoa, I guess it's Ms. Wu. Yeah. Ha. So we give you a little bit more time to connect. So we have 9 participants for the moment. Well, if our speakers want to join as well, please feel free to do so. I see that Shamrong is with us now. And yeah, so just put the link and the passcode in the chat box in case you need it. Or again, if you prefer, you can use the QR code. Lim is with us. So we have representatives from Myanmar, Vietnam, Cambodia. Well, we still have no one from ASSET-H&C. Where is Thailand?
I'm here.
Oh, perfect. Javier is there, but not. Are you connected? Oh, I see Alex connected to the quiz.
Yes. Yeah, we are.
Okay, Javier is there. So, sweet. So shall we start? Is there someone who's still trying to connect and that we cannot see? Apparently everyone is there. So let's start. So for this one, you know that you have to give the right answer, but also to be fast. So this question is about the origin of leisure cruises. Is it steamship transport? Is it Vikings explorations or Marco Polo's travel? Okay, the first one is the right answer. It's actually the boats that used to transport migrants from Europe to America in the late 80s. Next question.
In the 19th century, to protect against malaria.
So for 5 more seconds. Okay, let's see the results. Indeed, it was quinine, which was a revolution by that time, and that actually, allowed you to travel in more tropical countries. Next question. So 5 more seconds. Indeed, we are talking about elevators. It might seem very simple, but actually before elevators, you could not actually sell the hotel rooms at the same price, because if it was too high, people would not would not stay in the highest story. So next question. So yeah, good answer, hotel. Well, the shopping mall probably had already bars and restaurants, but that was the first one that had a big hotel. Next one. So, oh, no one found the right answer. It was only in 2007 that people start using X-ray in airports for control checking. Next one. It's back to slide, I think. Okay, so we see here the winners. So Renaud is the very first one. Congratulations, Renaud. It's really a good day for you, I think. Then Brian, then Miss Bin, then Mr. Soti, and then Brother Martin. So congratulations to all of you. So you are maybe wondering why the reason behind this quiz. Actually, the quiz was inspired by an article by Anna Metter-Gallagher titled 100 Innovations That Transformed Tourism. And the point was to illustrate the fact that tourism is strongly interrelated with other economic and social fields. And over time, changes and innovation that happen outside the tourism sector have had tremendous impacts on tourism and led to change and adaptation in the industry. And obviously, COVID-19 is a striking example of it. And we are all wondering how this will impact the industry's human resources and consequently the way we train our students. So to discuss this topic, we are pleased to have with us today two amazing speakers who will share with us their analysis of the situation and future trends with reference to employment in the industry. To prepare this session, we have asked them two main questions. How does tourism development in Southeast Asia look like? And how will this impact human resources? So now we are going to discover our speaker and hear what they have to share with us. I am extremely pleased to introduce Kun Kaiwala Luangtuma. Kun Kaiwala is People and Culture Manager at Four Seasons Resort Chiang Mai, and with over a decade of experience in the hospitality sector, Kun Kaiwala is a result-driven human resources professional committed to the development and well-being of our team members. Good afternoon, Kun Kaiwala.
Good afternoon, Sophie, and everyone.
And our second speaker is Kun Tatchai Nakapan, or Kuntat. Kuntat is a well-known entrepreneur on the Thai F&B scene. He is the co-founder and chief executive officer of Supaniga Group, which owns and manages several Thai restaurants around the world. 4 of them are recommended in the Michelin Guide, or Guide Michelin in French. So welcome to both of you.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So we are going to start with Kuntat, who will share with us his business development perspective with a special focus on F&B. So Kuntat, thank you again for accepting to answer our question, which actually, which actually is not an easy task, but you've been very brave to accept our invitation. And as an introduction, I would like to ask you, what prospects do you see for tourism development in Southeast Asia post-COVID-19?
Well, I still think, like it's now it's really hard to say, but if we think of it as for the short term, I think the traveling between, within the country would still be very limited in short term, because I believe that most of the countries within the region, in ASEAN regions, are still a bit kind of like struggling with the pandemic. And even some of the countries have been, starting to open their borders, but there are still restrictions such as, like the number of days of the quarantine, or the requirement of the travelers who come in that have, that they have to meet, such as, what kind of vaccine they have got, and they have to kind of like check for a number of days before the traveling, and even they come within each specific country, they have to stay in a maybe a quarantine facility for how many of days, something like that. So if our countries within the region are still struggling with this, so the traveling between our neighboring countries would be like very limited still. But for this period of time, I think that the most of the travelers will come from, from afar, like from the countries that have been mostly fully vaccinated, such as the United States, some countries in Europe, like the UK or Germany, where, or maybe even, like the Scandinavian countries, where I believe like most of them have been vaccinated. So, and it's going to be winter very soon in those countries. So the people will come and, kind of like to escape the winter season and enjoy the warmer weather of the ASEAN countries and the food and the beaches. And so I would say that for this short-term period of time, the traveling between us would be still low, but some traveling will be come from, from the more developed countries. But I still believe that in the long term, we still have, a lot of things to give to tourism. Like we all have the, like the nature, the culture, and all the natural assets and the cultural assets of each country of us. So I think that COVID will not change anything, regarding to what each country has in their, like their uniqueness in tourism. So once the country, once most of the countries in the region have been, opened, and most of the people have been vaccinated, I believe that there would be a huge rebound in the domestic and the inter-tourism within the region. But it really depends on how far, on how fast that each country will kind of like will implement their vaccination program. Like say in in Thailand, we just opened, kind of like starting to open the country to foreigners in the 1st of November. So before that, we had Phuket Sandbox, which is kind of like the first launch of the international travelers to Thailand, but they only have to come to Phuket only, and they have to quarantine. Not really. They don't have to kind of like stay in a strict quarantine hotel like in the past. They had to just stay in a hotel that has passed the safety and health certificate, and they can go like free to go within Phuket. They don't need to stay just in the room. And since the 1st November of Thailand, now the government has kind of like expanded this sandbox program to, I'm not sure, maybe like most of the provinces in Thailand. So the people can come to Thailand just without having to quarantine. They just have to be kind of like they just have to stay in a hotel for just one night to check that they have been tested negative for the COVID-19, and the next morning they are free to go. So it's gonna be like, so if like more and more countries in this region have something like this, and people are vaccinated, the tourism will bounce back sooner. So that's what I think.
Thank you so much for these comments.
Mm-hmm.
Let's now talk about your own entrepreneur experience and your own company. Can you share with us key adjustments that your group did during COVID-19 and that you think will continue after the crisis?
This is a very good question, and you know what? It's once the pandemic hit, this was a very hard thing that we have to adjust, because it's in our industry, the food and F&B, like the hospitality business, either the F&B or the hotel, it's a business about human touch. So, but when the pandemic hit, so we cannot touch, like we are so afraid of the germs, of the virus, of everything. So we don't even shake hands. We don't even say hi like the old days. So we need to have a new mindset for the business, kind of like people with a lot of human touch, but can we do something with the human touch but no touch? So like from to give the example that what we did, like so before the COVID time, I could see, like a lot of people still prefer to use cash, like physical cash, like banknotes and coins to pay for all the transactions, even in restaurants. But now, like most of the people use the kind of like the like online payment, like the QR code, and the wire transfer, and some even don't. Some even not comfortable using the credit cards, because like the credit cards has to be swiped, so it has to be touched by the staff, right? So now all the payments are like what we did, like we have installed all the new payment system that allows all the customers to pay without touching. So they can still pay by cash, they can still pay by traditional credit cards, but they can now using the QR code to do the payments, or they can pay by any other online system. So, and I think that this will last, and I think that this will last in every industry, not only the F&B or the hotel business, because it's like now people kind of like see that it's very convenient to pay things online, not using the physical cash, and people are more kind of like more familiar with all shopping online and everything, so it's easy, and the government is happy to see this development in this way too, because it's easier to track all the records, and to kind of like encourage everyone to be as transparent possible in terms of kind of like revenue reporting, you know what I mean. So it's this, I'm very sure that this practice will last, and it will be a very good thing that will last post the pandemic. And also, like, another aspect that I think will last is how we we do and we manage all the hygiene and safety protocols in our establishment for our customers. So, like, I understand that most of the restaurants and hotels have a very good hygiene and safety protocol already, but since the pandemic, we have to be kind of like up the level of what we have been doing, and we just cannot do it, behind the back. I mean, like, do it like in the kitchen, in the back office, but now we have to do it, and we have to show everyone that we've been doing it. We have to announce, so we have to make sure that everyone see, and everyone will understand, and everyone will feel comfortable. Like for now, it's very common for us to, to show the pictures in our social media that we spray all the infectants to, all areas of our front and back office, like day and night. And we kind of like clean all the equipment with the food grade disinfectants, or the food grade cleaning equipment, cleaning soap, something like that. And also we have to kind of like show that all of our staff have been vaccinated and this blah blah blah. And like, the funny thing is that, like, before the pandemic, like when we clean everything, like if we clean that too much or too often, the customer will feel annoyed. Like if we touch the door, we touch this and that, and the staff come and ask if I can clean this, like you might feel a little bit offended, insulted. Why, like you think I'm dirty or something like that. But now, like the mindset has been changed. So if you touch the doorknob and someone come to clean it right away, you will feel really happy. Well, because like you see that, well, okay, this restaurant has focused on all the hygiene and safety, something like that. So it will give the peace of mind to the client. And I think that this will also last like forever. I mean, like the level of the hygiene, the level of the strictness to the hygiene, like might be a bit relaxed. Like after this, like, the restaurant might not even have to wrap everything in plastic, like all the utensils in plastic or the plates in plastic, because it might not be good for a certain kind of restaurant, right? Especially, in the high end or in your kind of like a fine dining place, it doesn't look good if everything comes at the table wrapped, So I think that this will not last, but the safety protocols in general regarding the cleanliness of the overall, establishment, and the ventilation system, and the kind of like the vaccination of the staff, and maybe like the ATK taste of the staff, this will last. And I think it will be good for everyone.
Thank you very much. I think that you're right. We are clearly living in a total different world from that point of view. And now, well, because we have so many hospitality schools in the audience, my next question obviously is, can you let us know how these adjustments are going to influence human resources aspects?
I think that we all have to be kind of like easier to adapt to all the new things, especially the technology. Like how we pay without the cash, like it involves all the technology and everything. And so the staff have to be kind of like, everyone has to be able to do all this and understand the technology regarding the payment and delivery system and everything. And they have to kind of they have to be flexible to move around and do many things. Because like before that, like before the pandemic, our industry, especially in Asian country, in Southeast Asian country, I believe that the labor cost it's not high. So we kind of like used to having a lot of staff in all the establishments. So we always had a mindset that well, overstaffed it's a lot better than understaffed, because you know, like it's a service industry, we have to be, everything must be good, the food has to be fast, you know, the service has to be fast, attentive. So overstaffed is always better than understaffed. But now with the pandemic, you know, all all the restaurants and the hotel have to be, you know, reorganize their organization and have to be as lean as possible. So we cannot be overstaffed anymore, but each of the staff has to be able to do a lot of tasks, like more than before. So they have to be able to like to adapt and flexible and easy to learn new stuff. Like for example, like in my restaurant, you know, now the waiter has to be able to be to work as a cashier, and has to be able to work as a bartender as well, and has to be able to be the one who take orders of delivery, you know, looking at the computer screen and all the tablet and accepting all, you know, delivery order by the food application. So they have to do a lot of things, you know, in you know, in one time. And also the kitchen staff, like they cannot just do like the cold kitchen staff cannot just do the salad or the dessert anymore. Sometimes the cold kitchen have to come and help with the hot kitchen, and vice versa. So everyone has to be able to do a lot of things, but well, because like everyone cannot do everything, but they still have, they will know that which part is their key competency, but they have to be able to help and do many things in other departments as well. So that is what we think, that the school will have to kind of like to train the student to be able to have this caliber, you know, to do a lot of things and easier to and willing to adjust to all the new knowledge. So this is my suggestion.
Thank you very much for these answers. I'm pretty sure that our participants will have more questions for you during the
Sure.
Q&A session. But if I may recap my key takeaways from your answers at this stage, according to you, the recovery on the short term, the recovery of the tourism sector on the short term will remain highly dependent on vaccination, but in the long run, the future of tourism remains bright. Hygiene and safety is more important than ever, and it's not only about being clean, but showing how clean we are. And increasingly, hospitality workers will need to multitask and to be comfortable using technology at work. Am I correct?
Exactly.
Okay, perfect.
You summarize everything so well.
We are now moving to our second speaker, so Kun Kayola, who will answer questions related to the same topic, but more from a human resource management perspective and with a focus on the accommodation sector.
Yes, sure. Good afternoon, everyone, again.
Good afternoon. So thank you again for accepting to talk with us today.
No problem.
So we know that most countries in the region have announced and started to implement plans to reopen their borders to foreign tourists. But for years, the difficulty of sourcing staff has been a key challenge in the hospitality sector globally, and this trend seems to have been exacerbated by COVID-19. So my first question for you is, are you expecting or even observing the same in Southeast Asia?
Well, actually, I'm not so sure it will be exactly the same or not in terms of sourcing staff in every area. But based on my experience, because COVID pandemic situation in Thailand is quite long than our expectation. 2 years ago, right? Because we used to expect that it will be 1 year and it will be better, and then another year it will be better. But until now, it's still the same. But I think it's a little bit better than before. But it is too long for the hotelier, let's say. So these 2 years we have changing a lot. I mean, the experienced staff who been working a lot of years in hotel, they quit. I mean, like some of them got laid off, like, and some of them got redundant, some of them resign, and I'm sure that it will be because of the business decrease. It will be mostly for every hotel and every like small business in the country. So I mean, in terms of sourcing staff, if I would looking for the experienced ones, it would be quite difficult, I have to say, because like they will have something stuck in their mind that if they come coming back to the business again, and they will like got to face the same situation or not. So for me, my own opinion and experience, I'm usually doing approaching the experienced one by myself. I mean, the searching from the group and target group that I have. But for some certain or specific area, I will have the group already there that we keep communication all the time for the vacancy. And for other, I mean, I got a lot of applicants from some other industry as well, not only hotel. So it's now various. I have to say that. It's not difficult from sourcing the staff, but if I'm looking for the experienced one, it is.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, this actually makes the perfect transition to my next question, which I believe most of our members will be interested in hearing your point of view. What career prospect will workers with less experience than have in the industry?
Actually, it depends on each company or organization and culture of each company as well, I have to say, because less experienced staff, actually they can work in any of operative department, right? Like Kun Tat mentioned, it can be like server or housekeeping, clean the room, and like, I mean, some exec staff that need only the foundation to do the job. So it could be in any department, just only some specific skill or, I mean, expert that we need, kind of IT, spa, like therapists, right? Or some kind of people who be at the front of the house, who service and give the good experience to the guests. So that would be the group that be very specific to the experienced one. But all other, it will be the same. So I think for the opportunity, it will be many for the less experienced staff.
Thank you very much. And then for these less experienced staff, for these young workers, what kind of advice would you give them before they start entering the sector?
Actually, I can say that the trend of recruiting now, it changed a lot. I mean, they have to prepare actually, but I'm sure that for the core skill, the foundation, the school could give a lot to them already, right? But my suggestion it should be like kind of some kind of the soft skill. For example, like they have to be trendy or innovative, like Kun Tat mentioned before, that easy to adapt to the technology, right? Because now the world is changing a lot, and we need some technology to help in the hospitality business, right? In my hotel, in my resort, they use a lot of chat instead of seeing the people, right? I mean, contacting face to face to the front office staff. Instead of that, they use the chat system in the resort. So it means that they can get to chat all the times. For example, you want to order some food from the room to room service, you can chatting to the staff. Or you need some kind of like amenity, more water, more drinking water, or some kind of thing in the room. I mean, extra that the guests need. The guests can chat to the hotel staff, so it's very easy, right? So now I think the staff or the one who come to do the hotel business, they have to adapt to that. Means that they have to be very trendy and then adapt themselves for the change of the new technology, right? That is the first one. So the second one is like the attitude toward change. I have to say that, I mean, 2 years ago, right? I mean, it's been quite long for us already that been changing a lot, like COVID, and then it seems getting better, and then is again, and then better, and then again. It's like this for like 2 years already. So the staff who've been working with us, I mean, they have to adapt themselves. I mean, for the attitude toward this change, right? Not that get used to, but I mean, aware of the change, that they have to be more flexible to the thing that the assignment of their job, right? For my hotel also, they have to reorganize or multitask a lot in every areas. For example, like laundry staff, they come to help for to cleaning the room and can cleaning the public area, a lot of area in the hotel, and then they can help also for to be the security officer, right? Service staff also can help with the security officer, and can also be help in the kitchen, for example, and also myself, right? I mean, I have to help in kind of back of the house, and then for the kitchen area and for the restaurant area also, to help them cleaning, preparing the equipment, for example. So it would be very, very important for the one who come to the hotel business, that they have a good attitude for this change too, right? That is the second one. For the third one, I think it would be great that they will have the soft skill of like communication, because now it's not over the staff, that's the same as Kun Tat mentioned before, right? Before we have to like, a lot of stuff, we have to prepare for everything. We been ready for the change all the time, right? If it is pick up, a lot of people coming, so we'll be ready, like, okay, we can do the service really quickly. But now it's not the same like that anymore. Means that we prepare for the change, but we could not prepare of the load staff. I mean the overload staff like that anymore. Like a lot of staff who prepare for that. So we have to be very quick in terms of communication. The one who come to the business has to be very quick for like, I mean, get something for the communication key, what the people saying to them, and then can do something very quickly and get into the point, right? I mean, in terms of communication, listen deeply, and then can do it very quickly. So communication is there, and then it's very essential skill for the student who will come to the hotel business. And then I think for the last one will be like the skill of the learning and self-management, that they have to come and then like willing to learn, adapt themselves to learn more, open for the new things, and then manage themselves for to get to know something that they would eager to be in the, I mean, moving in for their career in the future. So I think for the foundation would be great. The school can teach them a lot, but this kind of skill, I think if you can put the foundation for them to be more of this skill would be great.
Well, thank you so much. I think you kind of anticipated a little bit my next question, which is how can educational institutions better support the recovery of the sector?
Right.
So do you have any other recommendations on how hospitality schools can support the recovery of the tourism sector?
Like I mentioned, Sophie, I mean, for the thing that it's necessary for the skill to service, right, in all area of the hotel, I think it can be there already from the school, right? I mean, it's very important for you to put the foundation for them since then, but it would be great that, I mean, can put more kind of like on the job training that extend of the time for internship more. I'm not sure that it could be possible or not, but I mean that 4 months for some of the students would be a little bit short, right? Some university, some college, they send the student for 6 months or even 1 year, and then consecutive for in each year of the study, come to observe, come to be on the training, and then another year coming again. So the student will feel like they get used to not only for the job function, but it would be kind of like get familiar into the work environment, I have to say, like can work under pressure, can be like, I mean, handling for the guest experience, handling the working with other department, and can like work together in kind of this environment.
Thank you so much, Kun Kaiwala, for sharing your insights with us today.
Mhm.
And well, again, if I may recap my key takeaways from your intervention, it seems that according to you, tourism companies may face difficulties in finding experienced staff, as well,
Yeah.
many of them will leave the industry, and this may open opportunities for new entrants. And like
Mhm.
Puntat, you think that the new generation of tourism workers will need to be quick learners who are comfortable with technology. On top of that, you think that they have to be able to cope with change and communicate effectively. And you also recommend for students to have more practical experience before graduating.
Right.
So thank you very much for this insight. I'm sure that our participants would like to hear more about your experience and your views, as well as those of Puntat. So we are now moving to the Q&A session. So for the participants, to submit your question, you can use the chat box, or as our group is not that big, you can simply submit them orally, but do not hesitate to use the raise hand feature to let us know that you have questions. So I now give the floor to our participants to share their questions with our two speakers.
Yes, Salabai in Siem Reap. I have a question. Do you see any for both of you actually? Do you see any new jobs or new opportunities? Do you think the crisis can bring some new? I mean, how will you adapt? Do you? I don't know. Do you hire? You know, somebody to do a different task like you didn't do before? I mean, I don't
You
know.
mean the new
I don't know if it's
opportunity
clear.
for them to move in their career at this current situation, you mean, right?
Yes, yes. Is there a new job? I mean, I don't know. Do the hotels going to create a new? I don't know. You know, for the moment they have F&B departments. They have spa, etc. Will you have? I don't know. A few ideas. I don't know any jobs any new jobs. Because of the crisis, or new things you're going to propose to your customer.
You
I don't
mean
know if
new?
it's clear.
No. I try to get into the question. You mean that new job that create during this situation that can be placed to our current staff? Is that
Yes.
correct? Yes. Actually, Kun Tat, please allow me to answer.
Sure.
Actually, now in current situation or even previously, we do the cross training a lot. I mean that even not in this situation, but we allowing the staff to cross training in another department.
Okay.
And it remains still there. So means that in our company, we are very open for them to just raise their hand and then can say that, okay, I would like to learn into another department. For example, service staff in the restaurant can be trained in the kitchen staff, or steward can be trained in kitchen staff, or even F&B staff can be trained in the spa department. So it remained the same since previous years already. So now, after we have quite a little bit difficulty to find the experienced one in the position, we allow these kind of people who have been trained for along the duration of this period already to apply for the job that we open for them. So we allow the internal to apply first, and we have a lot of good one who apply for the job, and it's good. Good for them for their opportunity too. Yeah, so I can find a lot of internal applicants to do the job.
Yeah, let me add something to Kun Kaiwala answers. Yes, so I totally agree with Kun Kaiwala. Yes, we also have something similar to this, because
Yes,
we can do some rotation within our organization. And and for us, in especially, I'm not sure about the hotel business, but in restaurant business, we can noticed like a new role. It's actually a new position that has been created during the pandemic, which is the role of the in Thai we call it, you know, like the admin of the chat room. Because like now you know, like all the customers, you know, they use the line. I'm not sure about other country, but Thai people always use line. You know, other country may use WhatsApp or FB Messenger, but Thai people, like 99% of Thai people use line. So
exactly.
and now like some people don't even want to call the restaurant, you know, they just chat in line asking for this and that. And you know, like once during the time when our restaurant has to be closed, we had to do delivery, you know, food delivery, and maybe had launched new products such as, you know, like food in a box or like juice in a can, or like kind of like frozen food, something like that, which will be sold, you know, in this chat room, you know. So and there are a lot of, you know, requests or people, you know, trying to kind of like ask question or everything in this chat room. So there would be, you know, we would need staff to be able to answer this, and you know, like and sometimes, you know, we have to answer it like almost like 24/7, you know, because like people shop all the time, even midnight, even like 4 o'clock in the morning, and
they want
you
it
know,
quick.
like exactly. And so some of our staff who, you know, like who maybe used to be, you know, a supervisor or used to be a waiter, but if some of them had some, you know, good communication skill and willing to kind of like have technology literate, you know, good and computer, good and doing any kind of social media, I would transfer them to try and work as this, you know, the administration of the chat room. And this, you know, has helped us a lot in, you know, in kind of like managing our own pool of human resources. So to answer your question, I think this is the real one of the key new job position that has been created during the pandemic.
Yes, for you, Kuntat, you create another one, right? But for me at the hotel, they use the existing one, right? Normally the reservation and telephone service center, they do this job all the times already. But now not kind of combining, but we get the pool staff from other department to help as well. 24 hours answering, as you said.
Yes, 24 hours.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We have in the chat box 2 questions from Brian. Well, I will start with the first one. If the staff are using chat platforms, are they allowed to use their own handphone, or is the hotel supplying mobile for use during work? I guess this goes to Kun Kaiwala.
Sorry, let me see the question.
Yeah, you can see it in the chat box, or I can repeat for you if you need.
Can you read for me again, Sophie?
Sure. If the staff are using chat platforms, are they allowed to use their own handphones, or is the hotel supplying mobile phones for use during work?
Oh, they use the hotel device only, because it's very confidential and very essential for the company, because it is the information that really confidential. They have to use the hotel device only. We don't provide the mobile phone. We use only the computer, and then it's only the authorized staff can answer to the chat.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm moving to Ms. Binma, and Brian, if we have time, we will get back to your other question. Ms. Binma from Koto in Hanoi is asking if there will be a need for delivery staff. And I guess this goes more to Kuntat for the F&B sector.
Definitely. Because but it really depends on each country, because in Thailand, you know, because there are a lot of there are so many good delivery applications, such as Grab or like
Panda.
Man, Food Panda, and
Yeah.
Robin Hood. Like right now we have like in Bangkok we have like four of them, and they all have their we call them riders. So they're using their motorcycle to do delivery for our restaurants, and we just have to pay some kind of commission to the application. And to answer the question, I think it really depends on the structure of each restaurant or each organization. So if you have some staff who kind of like doesn't have that kind of who is currently unoccupied with other tasks, and him or her might have a motorcycle or a bike that can do delivery. So this staff can help with the delivery of the restaurant, and it could be another channel to sell for the restaurant. So they can do delivery without having to pay the big commission to the application, and they can like give some kind of like incentive, like kind of like delivery fee to the staff. So instead of having to pay for the application, just give the staff some money for like to drive their cars or drive their motorcycle and send the food to the customer. But for us and in all the restaurants in our Supanika group, so we don't have right now currently we don't have many staff like who doesn't have work to do at the moment, because we are a bit like understaffed already. So we would prefer relying on the normal application system like Grab or Food Panda to take care of the delivery. We are happy to pay the commission fee, but we would rather focus on our core business, which is the food and service, to make sure that the food is nice, the service is good, and don't worry about whether the food will be delivered to the customer or not. Just leave it to the riders, to the application to do it. Do I answer the question? All right.
I see a new.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah,
so.
thank you very much. Okay. So since I don't see other question in the chat box, I'm going back to Brian, who had a second question. I think this question can be kind of for both of you. Brian is saying, as there is going to be a shortage of experienced service staff, and as it is important for the staff to speak and understand English, do you see that there will be an influx of foreign labor, for example, Filipino or Indian, to fill the shortfall?
If you ask me in terms of the hotel, operative staff, I mean line staff, we can find a lot of applicants or staff who can speak fluent English, I have to say, because now the education in the university or college is quite well in terms of English teaching. So I don't find the difficulty to sourcing the staff who speak well English. Right. So the chance for another nationality, like I mean Indian or Filipino, we also have a lot of opportunity for another supervisor level or the manager level up to be expertise in kind of area like spa or like restaurant, because some of our management, they are from Philippines and also from India. Right. So if asking about operative staff can be, I mean, any nationality, and Thai also can speak well English, but for manager, we open for every nationality.
Thank you, Khun Kaiwala.
And for me in F&B business, I think there would be a shortage of experienced staff, but I don't think that we need to kind of like, but I don't think that English would be kind of like
the core one.
Yeah, a requirement.
Yeah.
So like if the staff can speak English, it would be a plus. It will be beneficial to
Yeah.
them. It will be good for the business. But
Mhm.
like for the food, for the F&B, it's not necessary at the moment. But we can, use a lot of technologies to help with this, such as using the menu or the online menu or the picture from the tablet to show the customer the picture or put the English words in the menu so that the customer can point what they want to order. So like most of our staff, I would say like 50% of our staff can speak English very well, but the other cannot. But everybody can sell because we provide them the equipment, the tools to help them sell. So that's the thing. Mhm.
Which goes back to the use of technology then.
Yes.
Okay, so dear participants, if you have still have questions, it's time to ask them. We will take one or potentially two more questions, but not more than that.
Yeah, I have one more
Yes.
question. Sorry.
I'm sorry, you first.
Yeah, no, okay, all right. Just as as you were talking, so you are asking, now your employees to have more knowledge, more skills, to be multitask, to be able to be polyvalent. Do you offer them a better salary for this? Sorry, that's a tricky one, but just just to have an idea.
I have that is a good question. I think it would be like very good to ask both of us too. For me, in my opinion, I mean, right now it's not kind of like the main thing to increasing the salary because of the multitask like that. But I see it as a chance for their career opportunity because like if they can do more, and then we are also doing their development plan, right? So that multitask can allow them to be up easier, and then the salary plus will be a little bit later, not at the moment.
Same answer for me. Exactly the same answer.
Right.
Okay,
Because,
no.
but I know in your point, right? Because it's good to ask too, because like of course that if in terms of the staff they would expect like that, but we not kind of like promote it that money is the main thing for that, but we promote the career.
Okay, okay.
So one last question for Ha.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I'm Ha from La Boulanger from Ho Chi Minh City. So thank you for sharing. And as you mentioned about employer, it's difficult to find the experienced staff. So our plan will like work with HR department to promote bakery program with the local population in the province, rural area around. So in order to improve skill of local employment. So my question is, do you have any experience or any project like that? And do you give me any suggestion to develop our project?
You mean the people that you want to promote? Are they studying in the college?
They are is the local people, local people around.
Local people.
Yes.
At this moment I don't have that kind of campaign who that we work together with the local people yet. But for college we do have the MOU with some of the college here, especially in Chiang Mai and other nearby area, to be on the job training with us for at least 1 year.
If I may, I think that what Ha is referring to is that some companies now are helping schools like the schools that are present here today to recruit some students, and then they support by providing internships or even job placements at the end of the training. So it means that it actually benefits the company because they will recruit the people in their own community, which actually makes their link with the community much stronger. And it benefits the student because they know that if they are successful in their studies, then they have a job that is more or less guaranteed towards the end of the training, and that it makes much easier for them to enter into the job market? Is it something that you have heard about? Maybe, well, if your hotel is not doing that, maybe others are doing, or is it something that is still very not developed yet?
I cannot say that it's not developed, but it's kind of in progress of that, because that I mentioned before, when we work together with some college or some local area here, we do have the MOU and then providing the internship. And after that, if we have the vacancy, they can apply for, and they are first priority.
Mhm.
So it's kind of win-win situation for both of us, from the company side and also for the college and community side.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, we are little by little running out of time. So I would like to once again thank our speaker for sharing their thoughts with all the group today. We hope that some of the information shared will help our members in the process of constantly adjusting their training to the needs of students and the needs of the industry. Thank you again, Kuntat and Kunkayola, for giving us some of your precious time. I guess that with border reopening in Thailand, you are getting more and more busy. So we wish you all the
Hopefully.
best for the relaunch of your operations.
Thank you so much.
Well, again, thank you very much for being with us today. And well, now we are going to move to a few updates related to the networks. But thank you again, Kun Kayola and Kun Tat.
Thank you.
You're
สวัสดีครับ
welcome.
So, dear participants, I wanted just to take a few seconds to talk about the Regenerate program. So when talking about COVID-19, it seems that the crisis has actually made our work even more relevant than before, and that we are finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Well, of course, we know that the industry will still need some time to fully recover, but to help our members to make the most of this transition period, we have launched a new initiative called Regenerate to provide both financial and technical support to members who want it. So the initiative consists in a call for proposal for which you have received a detailed presentation early this month, and the deadline for application is end of November. So we are really looking forward to receiving your proposal. And of course, if you have any question on the program, please do not hesitate to ask them now or later on by email, or you can always give me a call. So is there any question regarding the Regenerate program that you would like me to answer now?
Yeah, me again, sorry. I have a question. Now about the technical, you are talking about the technical support or technical assistance. What sort of assistance can we expect, to have? I mean, yeah.
So, well, ICD has developed some expertise. Well, we don't know about everything, but there are some areas where we have experts and we have experience. And I think that during the seminar, we have shown part of it. Well, clearly, entrepreneurship is a topic on which we have been working for quite a while. And you have seen that the trainers from MSc have already been supporting different ASSET-H&C schools. It means that they know what the schools are doing and they understand the reality. So I think that they are clearly an asset. So if you are interested in entrepreneurship, this is one area in which we can help with technical assistance. You have met yesterday Javier, who is our pedagogy expert, who just joined us and is there to implement various activities related to pedagogy. So there is the DNA training that he was presenting, but if there is a specific need, we could actually discuss the way how Javier could also further support your school. But again, the starting point for us is to know the needs. So that's the reason why we ask you actually to send a proposal of micro projects so that we can see how we can support. And other things that we could do. Well, we've been working recently with Taylor's University, so on blended learning. So, well, the expertise is not exactly within IECD, but I think that the training is quite successful. It's a good quality training. Well, I'm doing it myself as a student, so I'm talking by experience. So maybe we could imagine something else, but it starts from your needs, and you are the best one to tell us what your needs are. Is there any other question regarding the Regenerate program?
So, Sophie, let's say whatever proposed project will be submitted to you, but we must comply with the requirements provided, right? The templates and so on, the calculation and all those things.
Yes. So, well, the general objective of Regenerate program is to help you relaunch your operations, because we know that now you are not operating well as you did before. So really to go back to normal, and on top of that, to increase your impact. So that's the main goal, and your action have to contribute to that. And then in order to do that, you have to present a project or several projects actually in different categories. The first one is about improving the integration of your graduates through different things, but also through entrepreneurship. The second one is to improve the quality of your training, and it can be through a blended learning approach or through pedagogy training. And the last one, because we really wanted to give you some liberty and understand what are your needs, it's the last category is other. So if you have any other idea that contributes to the main goal, which is to relaunch your operation while improving your impact, please feel free to present it. And in terms of projects, so there are 3 categories. So you can present up to 3 projects, so 1 per category maximum. And regarding the funding, if you wish to ask some funding, because you can also decide that you just want actually technical assistance, but if you want to ask for financial assistance, you can request up to 10,000 euros per micro project. And if you decide to present several micro projects, the total of the whole proposal should not exceed 20,000 euros. And then to present your project, indeed, you have to complete the application form, which is a Word document. And if your request involves a funding request, then yeah, you have also to submit a budget so that we see how you plan to use the funds that we are going to give to you, and also to see a little bit if it looks feasible what you are planning.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you. Yeah.
So is there any other question? Okay, so I have one question to ask you. Yes, please.
I have a question. But this one, this project only regard to the hotel, or can be another part of the school, like in my school, not in the hospitality, but under the technical school.
Yeah, no, well, this one is only for hospitality, because ASSET-H&C focus only on hospitality. So yeah, I know that in your case, you may have other projects, but it's only for the hospitality school.
Yeah, thank you.
Any additional question? Okay, so this session is actually the last session restricted to members that we are going to have all together. So I would like to take a few minutes or maybe seconds to reflect on the 2 days that we have spent together. And on the next slide, you are going to see the result of the very first activity that we did during the kickoff session. And if you remember, I asked you to share what by the end of the seminar will make you consider that these 2 days have been a success. So now that we are getting towards the end of the seminar, do you think that we have fulfilled these objectives?
Yes, for me, yes.
Okay, well, yes, without comments.
Got a chance to exchange, and I do got a chance to learn from all of our members for sure. This is my first time, but I learned a lot, and I feel like I'm knowing you all now at the moment, remotely, even though it's remotely, and have a chance to exchange some of the good practices. So it's a yes for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Soti, and we cross finger to actually be able to see each other face to face next year. Yeah, no more no more online seminar next year.
that would make Mr. Rono a happy man. He don't like it remotely.
I think you as well, you know, number two, it makes
sure.
You know, when we meet, okay, we can meet as well, you know, after for dinner or something and ask, you know, direct questions. So definitely, but no, that's a yes as well for me.
Mm-hmm. Is there any other comment? And well, especially if you feel that we did not totally meet your expectations.
Me again, Sophie and everyone. I just want to be honest a little bit. We did connect each other. We did exchange. We did had a possible chance to learn from each other. But I wish I get to know more all of our members. Even though you know you could share a little bit more from your side, I guess. Without having to wait for Ms. Sophie questions. It's always, regardless of whatever contribution or answer, but I believe the contribution from each school and members would be very beneficial to all of us, that we can learn from one another. But yeah, I really thank you all. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, well, I think that indeed it's true that this, and we said it at the beginning, the success of this kind of event really rely on the participation of member schools. So clearly we encourage you to participate as much as possible. So I see that there is a comment from Father Hui in the chat box who is saying, I listened and learned a lot from the seminar. Thank you so much. Well, thank you very much, Father Hui, for being with us, for staying with us these 2 days. Are there other comments before we close the session?
Yes, I do have one. It's totally yes for me. That's the first time I have changed to connect with all members. And I learned a lot from your sharing and your experience. Sometimes I do have the same experience during that time, but I learned a lot from your solution or your actions. So thank you so much.
Great, glad to hear that. Is there anyone else who wants to add something?
Yes.
Hello, Sophie.
Yes.
I would like to thank you and your team for very interesting seminar. This allow me to reach my knowledge in this domain. And thank you for supporting the Basel School and hoping that everything will be better all for us.
Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you also for the very first time, Ms. Wu. We hope that we can have you next year. I see that Mr. Shamrong is raising his hand.
Okay, thank you. Firstly, I would like to say thank you, all of you. Okay, because this is the first time that I joined with the ASSET. The previous one is the other, and in this this training, I have been connected. Mean that I have know a lot of from Thai or from Vietnamese or from or the partner in the Siem Reap also or in Cambodia. Okay, and I have been learned a lot of things about that, and you can provide me or I know a lot about we have met, okay, and during this training, okay. So yes, last but not least, thank you so much, Sophie.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shanram. This actually remind me one question that I have. Is that okay if in the report that you will receive after the seminar, we share everyone's email addresses, or do you prefer not? I see people nodding, saying yes, so
Yes.
it seems that it's okay.
Yeah. Yes,
Perfect.
yes.
And I have a question from Kwechi, who has been in charge, well, managing the technical part. She's asking also, how did you find the interactive activities? Did you like them? Did you find it was added value? Or is there anything that we should do to improve from that side? The
It's
Slido
good.
part.
I think it's good, Sophie. So everything is we learn a lot.
Okay, yeah.
The
Well,
interaction.
yeah, we really did our best to make it not one side and not boring and interactive, but yeah, well, again, really crossing fingers, hoping that we can see each other face to face, because yeah, two years, it's really too long.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, I just see that there are two comments in the chat box. One from Lalita saying, I really like the exchange and everyone shared the experience. Thank you so much to all. And Javier saying that, yeah, I think it was referring to Slido that the activities were really nice and creative. And Renaud is saying not an easy task. Well done. Well, thank you very much. We are glad to see that apparently we fulfill our mission. We will send you shortly a more detailed satisfaction survey. And as usual, we would highly appreciate if you can send some feedback through the survey, because it helps us improve, but it also helps us report to our donors. And I guess that you can all relate to that. So it's now time to say goodbye to our friends from Vietnam, Thailand, and Myanmar. And the next session will be the national meeting for our Cambodian members. As mentioned yesterday, we suggest having it in a tea break style. So please feel free to bring your cup of tea, coffee, some biscuit. So we were supposed to start at 3:45. So we are still on time. So if you are from a Cambodian school, we will meet at 3:45. And oh yeah, and also I would like to remind everyone that we have a last session tomorrow, and this one is really especially dedicated to trainers. So if you have team members who are not registered yet, please encourage them to join this workshop, which will be about green skills in tourism and hospitality. Again, we will have great speakers who will share their insights and views with the trainers. The session will start at 2 p.m. and we hope to see many of you there. And yeah, now I'm saying goodbye to Vietnamese, Myanmar, and Thai members, and see you in a bit for our Cambodian members.
Yeah, thank you so much for everyone. And Miss Sophie. Bye.
See you again, Larissa.
See you again soon.
See you.
Glad to see all of you.
Bye. Hoping to see many of you tomorrow.